Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 720 Degree Tennis. And I would like to welcome you to the Around the Court game show. And we're supposed to have 4 guests today, 4 contestants, but it looks like we might only have 3. Maybe we'll get a late arrival here. But let me introduce the game and our guests. All right, so if you perhaps you've seen the show Around the Horn on ESPN, where pundits discuss controversial issues in sports, and their answers are subjectively judged by the host, and there's no talking back, or people get penalized. And this is all meant to be fun, but I hope that there's something educational comes out of it, and everybody has a great time doing that. And for the most part, contestants are asked to frame their questions only positively, but we will get into a point-counterpoint. But even so, we're looking for positive solutions to tough questions, and maybe nobody has the right answer, but people will be scored by having a good point, making a good point. And sometimes people will make a great point, and they might get a 2-pointer. So that could happen. Looks like everybody's going to make it through past the point-counterpoint at this point, and then we will eliminate the lowest scoring member after every round. I will announce the score. And now, our first contestant is Michael Friedman. All right? Michael, in 30 seconds, tell us about where you are and what you do.
Well, I'm currently driving to work here in Northern California. I'm about to get on the San Rafael Bridge heading towards the Tiburon Peninsula Club, where I've been teaching tennis the last 4 years. This year will mark my 50th, 50 years of teaching tennis.
Awesome, and that might have been 30 seconds, so good for you. And Michael and I were joking earlier that if he were to crash during the show, that would be one of the greatest moments in radio history, kind of like Jim Rome teasing Jim Everett about being Chris Everett. All right, so now, Erwin, how are you, sir?
Cold, but I'm good.
All right, 30 seconds. Tell us about you.
I am from Erwin Montalvo, and I am from Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico. And I've been teaching tennis full-time for a little bit over 15 years. And I've been teaching in Minneapolis, Minnesota since 2006, where I teach for Lifetime Fitness in Freely, Minnesota. And I specialize in just working with juniors, competition juniors, mostly girls.
Okay, good. I was going to cut him off because he was getting over 30 seconds there. And, hey, Erwin, cool it with the accent, man, because we know that you guys have an advantage. You get an extra $10 an hour if you have an accent on your lesson. So cool it, man. All right. Kurt, what's going on? Tell us about you in 30 seconds.
Hi, Kurt over here, West Palm, Florida. Grew up in West Texas and played tennis for over 20 years and been coaching for around 7. I'm in pharmacy school right now and also done a master's in exercise and sports science.
And he's probably the smartest guy in the show, including me. And so, I'm actually rooting against you, Kurt. So, all right, very good. So now you are done. All right, now it's time to get started, and this is going to be a 1-point round. So we're going to do this for 5 total minutes. So I've got the timer going here, and I'm going to ask a question, and you give a 1-sentence reply. And we'll keep going until someone fails to score, and then we'll stop. All right? So we're going to start with Michael. All right. Question number 1, and you must not do anything that repeats the answer from a previous coach, and you must not start a second sentence. If you do that, you're going to hear the buzzer. All right. So what is the best practice that every young coach should follow? Michael.
Certainly be very communicative with an emphasis on knowing your student.
Okay, awesome. Michael gets one. And then here, we'll play this for a second.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very good. All right. Erwin, go.
What was the answer? What was the question again? I'm sorry.
And that ends that round. That was pretty quick. Okay, so, but we have to give Kurt a chance to answer, or that wouldn't be fair, right? So all of these, we make up the rules all of a sudden here on this show. All right, Kurt, talk to me. Best practice.
Best practice is to have fun as a coach and let the players have fun.
All right, very good. And, I like the fact that I can mute people who've done wrong. So, Erwin, by the time we start the next round, I hope that you will recover. All right, because I'm rooting for you. You have to beat Kurt. All right. So, after round one, which I thought was going to go a lot longer, it's one for Michael, one for Kurt, and love for Erwin. All right. Now, Erwin, we're going to let you go first on this next round. So listen to the question. All right. Tell us a mistake that you made early in your career. And you just made one right now, so that you got some fresh ones here. Okay. Erwin, a mistake that you made early in your career.
Not to work more on my baseline game when I was a player, and I only wanted to work on my net game.
Okay, I'm going to let you off the hook, but that's a warning. That was 2 sentences, but I'll give you a point. All right, so we're moving on. Kurt, an early mistake in your career.
Early mistake in my coaching career was treating every student like they were going to be a high-performance player.
Okay, awesome. All right. Michael.
Probably
Michael.
the biggest mistake I made was not joining the USPTA and getting certified earlier in my career.
Okay, good. And that was a run-on sentence, sir. You got to shorten that stuff. All right. So we're going to go one more time around because I don't want to highlight too many mistakes, but I'm sure we could probably go on for half an hour like this. All right. Erwin, give us another one.
To not work with adults enough.
Okay, so work with adults more.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Kurt.
Getting too technical with students instead of just having fun.
Okay, overly technical. All right. Michael.
Being able to allow my student to either have a one-handed or two-handed backhand.
Okay, awesome. All right, and so now after the first question of the one-sentence answer, or no, that's the second question, right? Then the score is 3 for Kurt, 3 for Michael, and Erwin has 2, so that's good. He's on the scoreboard. All right. Next question. You can tell a great coach by their... It's open-ended question. All right, and we're going to start with Kurt on this one. Oh, no. What did I do? Michael fell off the call, so I got to call him back. All right. So in the meantime, I'm going to have Kurt answer this question because Michael, something happened to him. All right, Kurt.
Yeah.
We're having technical difficulty, but we're going to muddle through here. All right. You can tell a great coach by their what? Oh, and then Michael's back on the line. Okay, good.
I was going to say the smile on the student's face. You can tell if the student is enjoying the game by a good coach.
Okay, awesome. Gotcha. Remember, it's one-sentence answers. All right. Michael, you can tell a great coach by their
teaching with a great passion and actual love for their student.
Okay, awesome. Erwin, you can tell a great coach by their
energy on the court and engagement with the student.
Ooh, engagement. Okay, that's a good word. That you were very close to repeating somebody. I don't know what. I'm tough on you. I don't know why. I don't know what my deal is. All right, Kurt, ready for another one? Oh wait, yeah, Kurt, ready for another one? Here we go.
I was gonna say, kind of controversial, but reputation around the community.
Ooh, yeah, because they should be well regarded. You know, and I have to say I'm quite proud of the fact that I had a editor of a newspaper tell me that I had a good reputation in the community, and that meant a lot to me. All right, that brings Kurt to 5. All right, Michael, go.
I think you have to be highly ethical in our very competitive profession.
Okay, awesome. Yes. All right, and Erwin. Hello, Erwin. Am I pushing the wrong button? Is that Kurt?
Do you hear me?
Hello?
Do you hear my
Okay,
answer?
let's see here. Erwin.
Hello?
Erwin. Hello.
I'm here.
Okay, good. So what you can tell a great coach by their what?
A coach that focus on the kids' strengths instead of only pounding their weaknesses.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna give you 2 points for that. I'll give you 2 points. That's the best answer so far. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now let's see. Erwin, your area code is 321, correct?
My area code is 612.
Oh, 612. Okay, good. I'm clear up now. All right, very good. Because things sorted out when we lost Michael there for a second. So after that round, we're all tied at 5, right? So that's awesome. Now this is going to separate some people here, and we might hear the buzzer, and we might hear the oh yeah. If you get an oh yeah, that means you scored 2 points. So you can get 1 or 2 points here on this round. Okay. You have 1 minute to answer this question, and if you go over, you'll get the buzzer, and if you've scored 2, you'll lose 1. You could actually go back down to 0. So these are timed answers. You have only 1 minute to answer. Yes, you can have multiple sentences, and you'll be scored on detail and making great points. So the first question is, what are the positives of the red, orange, green initiative? Okay, or just transition balls in general. And I'm starting my timer. And first up is going to be Erwin. The positives of the initiative, go.
I believe the positive for the initiative of the transition balls is very simple. In my opinion, you cannot adjust the game. You have to adjust the kid to the game. We cannot just adjust the game to the kid. By giving them the low compression balls, the kid. When you have a 5-year-old kid, we cannot expect the 5-year-old to be playing on the same court sometimes as a 30-year-old is playing or a 25-year-old is playing. It's so much more ground to cover. The ball travels in different speeds and different bounces. And by having the different transition balls, we allow the kid, period, to just be a little bit more successful. And in my opinion, as a coach, I drive on success. I like to develop my kids, and I like to develop my kids through positive notes. I always focus on the positive. Of course, we have to look
Okay, as you can tell, you went past the 1 minute right there. So I'm going to give you 2 points for a great answer, but I'm going to dock you 1 point for going past a minute. So Erwin gets 1. All right. Kurt, here we go. Ready?
Right.
Go.
I was going to go the ROG balls, the kids get to hit the ball in their strike zone. There's a lower learning curve to the ROGY. Smaller kids, smaller rackets, and I think that allows them to kind of play with the same strategy as well as having less injuries with the lower compression. And then also, like smaller courts, you can get more kids on a court. So for the coach, that's more revenue and also more people, so you're growing the game of tennis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
2 points, Kurt, because he made good points and he stopped before the 2 minutes was over. So Kurt surges into the lead there. All right. Michael, can you tie him?
Well, I feel that the low compression balls are catching up with the rest of the tennis world, where they've been doing this for many years before we got into it, and all the other sports have got adjusted equipment for different age groups, and we're finally doing that ourselves. Well, we've been doing it for the last few years. The junior rackets are not made to hit the heavier adult ball, the regular ball, and I feel like the low compression ball allows us to get the players to go from one stage of the game to the next and gradually end up with excellent strokes.
Oh, you had 8 seconds left there, sir. All right. So this is for Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
And this is for Michael.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So Michael and Kurt each got 2 points on that one. So it's currently 7-6. All right, as we move into the next question, which also has to do with ways that the Red, Orange, Green initiative can be improved. All right, now, the idea here is that we're not giving heavy criticism to any national governing bodies or any of that stuff, but that we're offering constructive criticism for how to make things better, right? Because that's America right there. And then also, I want to brag for a second that I started using compression balls in 1999. So when you start your answer, then I want you to tell me what year did you begin using low compression balls. All right. So we're going to start with Kurt. How work can be improved?
Well, I'm not developing many kids, so I don't use the low compression, but I really think it's a good initiative and everything. The one way to improve it is a little bit of parent education, because a lot of parents are really into short-term success. And if we can educate the parents to look at the long-term development of the kid and have them look at tennis as a lifelong sport, instead of worrying about their ranking when they're little 10-year-olds, this ROGY is a great way to get them involved and stay in tennis. So that's one.
Yeah, I'm so sorry, Kurt, because you really didn't give me something there where they could improve it. So that's pretty sad. Okay, I don't want to hear that buzzer a lot more here, guys. So, all right. Michael, how can the Red, Orange, Green initiative be improved? Oh, wait a second. I pushed the wrong button. All right. Michael, how can the Red, Orange, Green be improved?
I feel like the initiative is working pretty well, and they're tweaking it all the time. And I think that's the most important thing, is not to be dogmatic with all the edicts from the USDA about who gets to use what, and I think that the pro has to be more involved with who is going to be moving from one ball to the next, rather than the USTA.
Okay, that. I like that one. So you got one specific thing for me there, so you get 1 point. All right, Erwin, you've got an opportunity here to surge, and you could tie for first place if you can get me 2 points here. All right, here we go. Ready? How can the ROG be improved? Man, I keep pressing the wrong buttons. All right, I got to restart the clock here. Hold on, I got to restart the clock. My bad. Ready? Okay. Go. All right.
One thing I will work is on uniformity in how the balls are made. Honestly, I've been teaching with, I don't know the year, Bill, but I've been teaching low compression balls for at least good 8 years or so, and different brands, all these balls bounce so different that I think it's a little tough sometimes for the kids. The balls have way different bounces. Different bounces.
Give me another one, 30 seconds.
And the other thing is the coach, the parents need to let the coach do the job. When are we going to move? And it's not when the parents feel like they have to move the kid. But my big point is the ball should bounce the same, should be more uniform. There's too much difference between brands.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So, Erwin, you nailed it right there. And I know you're a former baseball player, so that was the double off the wall right there, man. That's awesome. But then you were a pitcher, right? Did you ever hit? I don't know. I can ask you questions and you can't answer. That's pretty fun for me. All right. Erwin takes over first place with he's tied with Michael. It's 8-8, and now Kurt is at 7 in third place. So, I just wanted to comment really quickly that I had tried many brands of red, orange, and green balls and was surprised and disappointed by the lack of uniformity in the way they played. So hopefully that problem gets solved. I've tossed kids a red ball, and then I had them give me the stink eye like, hey, coach, isn't this supposed to be easier? All right. So now, what are the misguided actions of red, orange, and green? All right. So let's see. We're going to start with Michael here. Here we go. Misguided actions of using red, orange, and green.
That is a very good question. Like I said before, the USTA is tweaking things all the time, and I don't think their pathway was necessarily the right way to go with having the players accomplish specific tasks to be able to move on to the next ball.
Okay. Can you be more specific about that in 30 seconds?
They had a program where the child had to be part of a play day and then a little tournament and accomplish all these tasks that were based on the USTA program to allow the child to move from red to orange to green.
Oh, man, 4 seconds left. That was good. All right, so Michael gets a point there. Nice work. All right, and on to Erwin. All right, what are the misguided actions of red, orange, green?
This is my point. What I think is in the misguided point is that when they're talking about low compression balls, they usually talk about age right away. And like they put a specific age for red ball, specific age for orange ball. I do not believe on that. I mean, we have classes at my club for complete adult beginners where we have adults using red balls. So there's not an age thing. It's a level thing. If you are not capable of rallying an orange ball well, why would I put you in a regular ball?
Oh,
so
yeah.
I would take the age thing away, and it's a level thing. If you don't have enough skill, well, you have to stay on this ball until you can prove me that you're ready to move to the next ball. That would be my
Okay,
point.
you got 30 seconds left. Make another point, and you can take the lead. 20.
You don't need to. I use my example. I also use sometimes orange ball, even on full court, trying to teach kids how to hit through the ball more. If you can keep an orange ball deeper on the court, imagine what you can do with a regular ball.
You had 4 seconds left. Yeah, that was good. And then here, wait, I'm going to give you this. You get that.
Oh, yeah.
And that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Irwin takes the lead. It was looking bad there. He threw a first quarter interception, and now he's made 8 straight completions, and he stopped throwing the ball to Javon Curse like he should have until it's time to win the game. I don't know what's going on there. All right, so that was fun. I had fun. I hope you're having fun. All right, and we're almost halfway with our game here, and the score is Irwin has 10, Michael has 9, Kurt has 7. Did I not give Kurt a chance to answer? Wait a minute, I think I have to back up here for a second. This is the worst game show of all time. All right, Kurt, did I skip you?
Yeah, you
did.
did.
I skip you on that one? Oh man.
Yeah.
Was it making you want to cry? Did you feel like crying?
I was just muted on the line, just helpless.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the way I like people to feel, and so that's perfect. Now, but you have an opportunity to pull into a tie with Michael if you can give me 2 more things, and it's going to be rough because good things have already been covered. Ready? Go.
All right. My main thing that they did wrong is that USDA mandated it to the coaches and parents without really convincing them of the benefits.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is, like they were talking about, is there's this ambiguous progression that's led to kind of confusion between the players and coaches and parents of when do they progress? Is it age? Is it skill? And then third, just that age versus skill is the more you play, the more higher skill ability you should have to progress from balls, in my opinion. But there's something to be said about the size of the athlete and the little rackets, the little courts, and kind of do it based on age. So it's
oh, yeah.
All right. So you got a couple of oh yeahs, but then you also get this because you thought you could make 3 points, and you can't. You can't. This isn't, it's not the NBA. There's no 3-point line here. So 2 points, that's all you get. All right? So keep that in mind. All right. So now Irwin's still in first, but Kurt, by virtue of whining, got an opportunity to come back into a second-place tie. All right. This is tight competition. It's exciting for me. I don't know how you're feeling. Anybody can win this thing. All right, now we're going into the 2-point round. A 2-minute round, and you can score up to 3 points in this round. All right. So the topic is strength and conditioning in tennis. All right. And so that's the first topic. 2 minutes. We're going to start with Irwin, and then we're going to go to Michael, and then we're going to finish with Kurt. All right. And then I want to warn you that Kurt is going last because this is the topic he picked. So Michael and Irwin, you better gobble up as many good answers as you can because Kurt will kill you if you don't. All right, here we go. Strength and conditioning for tennis. Talk about whatever you think you can talk about in 2 minutes. Ready? Irwin, go.
Strength and conditioning is a great topic. Good job in there picking that, Kurt. Champions are made off the court. It's what I tell my kids all the time. It's not, if you look at even the pros how much time when they talk they
Oh,
spend off the
yeah.
court. I always look at the kids when I do practice with my kids. I make them play 3 out of 5 sets sometimes when I do semi-private, because as they play, they need to get better. You cannot get worse. How do you get better? You have to be in good physical shape. Tennis is a very active sport. It's a complete dynamic sport. Like in Minnesota here, we use our courts in the indoors, and we do a lot of strength and conditioning indoors. In the summertime, we take the kids out to track. I take them to football fields. We take them to sand
Oh,
pits.
yeah.
We work a lot on their strength and conditioning, because that's what's going to show their decision-making on the court. How can a kid make good decisions on the court when they're exhausted? When you have a kid that is in good shape and they're in good physical conditioning, they also are going to be able to stay focused for a longer period of time. Therefore, decision-making is better.
Oh, yeah.
And their performance on the court is going to be as expected. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I'm saying they're going to perform and they're going to compete at a much higher level because of their level.
Okay, good. You got your 3
conditioning.
points. So I'm cutting you off early. All right. Nice work, Erwin. Erwin got 3. That's pretty killer right there. All right. So, 3 good points there. And now, Michael, here we go. You have 2 minutes. Go.
Strength and conditioning is a huge part of any development of any athlete. It is probably the one thing that
Oh, yeah.
an athlete like a tennis player actually playing the greatest sport that man has ever devised. They have
Oh, yeah.
they have the opportunity to really allow their will to drive them in trying to be a conditioned and a strong athlete. They might not be the best.
Okay, I muted you, dude. That was awesome. I mean, you got the 3 points in 45 seconds, right? Tennis is the greatest sport with the greatest athletic demands, right? It has to do with improving your will, absolutely. And then I think you said something else good, but I forgot what it was. All right. So now we're going to Kurt, and now the pressure's on Kurt because Erwin and Michael both got 3. And this is the one that Kurt chose. So no pressure, man. No pressure at all. Here we go. Let's see. Kurt is 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, Kurt, 2 minutes.
All right. I was going to break it up into youth, and strength and conditioning is kind of part of that off-court training. And as a recommendation, you should only play the amount of years you are in age, and that's from Dr. Daniel. So a lot of youth are overtraining, and they're at higher risk of injuries because a lot of these coaches have them on court for 20 hours, 30 hours a week. And then for the performance players, you should really emphasize injury prevention, and a lot of players are becoming imbalanced. So, and then also a lot of players are trying to increase power. The power and strength in the game at the high levels are becoming really high, so you have to train like that. And then finally, in the elderly is probably our largest target market, and strength and conditioning is part of a healthy routine. So if you can get those older ladies to go do some resistance training off court, it'll just add a little bit of benefit to their health.
I just did that for fun. But okay, that's a great point because of the long-term effects on the elderly that they're less likely to become injured and have some catastrophic injury late in life, which then shortens their life and makes their quality of life much worse. So, it's my show and I make up the rules. So I'm giving Kurt 4 points for that because he really did nail it right there. So now we are at Kurt with 13, Erwin with 13, Michael with 12. All right, and we're going on to the next topic. And this one is Michael's topic, so he's going to go last on this one. All right. How do you coach and how do you discuss with your players focusing, what level of focus do you have between points and during points, and how do you manage that? All right, and we're going to start with Kurt. All right, so hold on. I got to get my timer set up again here. So, levels of focus between points and levels of focus during points. So be happy that you get another little bit of think time here while I get my timer set. And away, go, Kurt.
Okay, focus, I feel like it's a pretty good topic, but in between points, you can say focus on a ball. You can say focus on trying to do something externally, like trying to hit a ball deep or put spin and put pressure on an opponent. But I like the piano analogy of playing piano. A lot of times at the end of the point, you start increasing your focus. At the end of the game, at the end of each set, the points become more important. So I always say the person who wins the last point wins the match. So that's the thing I think about when focusing and talking to students.
Okay, so you got one there, and you got another minute. You got 75 seconds to make another couple of points, and there's two more on the line here.
Well, I like focusing on your kind of emotions, trying to stay even keel. A lot of players get really upset, and I say you only have 3 adrenaline pumps the whole match. So don't use all your energy on, one, you try to keep on pressing that button. A lot of players try to press the button almost every point, but I figure, try to stay relaxed, and when it becomes big moment in the set or match, start increasing that adrenaline or the energy and use those wisely. So that's kind of a focus on energy production.
Yeah, I'd like to give you a point there, but I think you missed I think you're a little bit off the topic from the focus. You got something for me in 10 seconds to make up for that?
Yeah, not 10 seconds.
Oh man, I told you I was not wanting to hear the buzzer again, and I'm the one pushing it. So I can't hold back. All right, here we go. It's going to be Erwin. Are you ready? Focus.
I am.
Okay, here we go.
For me, this is a great question over here, Michael. And I look at this a lot into like kind of my expertise. I used to be a pitcher, and focusing between points. It's like pitching, like when you go in between pitches, what do you do after one pitch? At the beginning, I tell my kids to focus on their game plan. They step into the court with the game plan, but you always have to be willing to change. Why? Because it's like in baseball. When you pitch the first 3 innings, even if you're perfect, and the 4th inning, the hitter is going to make an adjustment because it's a second time around. As the game progresses, your opponents are going to make adjustments to your game. Therefore, we have to make adjustments. A lot of the times when the opponent make adjustments, the players kind of get a little tight. And I like to tell them to focus on what they were doing that was working instead of focus on what the mistakes that they're making, because you don't want to build your game around mistakes. Think about what shot you want to hit and go.
Okay, you got the 3 points in 70 seconds. Nice work there, mister. So, Erwin's up to 15, all right? Michael, your topic, get the 3 points, pull into a tie for first place. This is a horse race, man. This is crazy. So, all right, hold on a second. Got to get the timer going. Ready? Go.
Well, I think there's definitely a difference between focusing during the point and between points. And between points, you're preparing yourself to get ready to play the point. And the old adage of playing 1 point at a time, I feel, has to start from the beginning of the match. And the way I tell my students to deal with that is that if they haven't gotten to 15 yet, that is their goal. They get to 15, then they get to 30, and et cetera. And if you're playing 1 point at a time, playing one point at a time. When you do get to game point or break point or set point or match point, you're just playing the point rather than the situation. It helps conquer nerves. And during the point, you're trying to play your plan. And a big part of the way that I teach strategy is that it's the control, hurt, finish, where if you start the point, this is a Bollettieri theory, start the...
Okay, so you got the 3 points, but then you tried for 4, and, that's just not going to happen this time. So, and then we were starting to I was trying to redirect people from talking too much about strategy because the topic was a mental one. So, but Michael, you succeeded. It's 15 for Michael, 15 for Erwin, 14 for Kurt. Now, we go into the point, counterpoint, and then at the end of this round, we're going to eliminate one player. All right, that's my buzzer going off. All right, we're going to eliminate one player. All right, so the topic is athlete motivation, right? So we're going to discuss intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, what's the role and the responsibility of players, coaches, and parents, and there could be some counterpoints because I'll tell you, the other day we were talking about candy on the court, and you know what? I don't like candy on the court ever. So anyway, if you're a candy on the court guy, go for it. Tell us why you give candy, and then the other people can get their chance to tell you why that's wrong. All right, so we're going to start. We're going to go bottom to top here in the scoring. So we're going to start with Kurt on athlete motivation, and you get 1 minute to make a point, and then the next person gets a minute to make a point, and then another minute to make a point, and then you can make counterpoints against each other in order. All right, so starting with Kurt, here we go. Athlete motivation. Oh, I again pressed the wrong button. Here we go. All right, Kurt, athlete motivation.
Okay, Bill, when you're talking, I was thinking about a difference between juniors, adults, and then, elderly, or, and I was thinking, some of the motivational tactics you use with your kids may be a lot different than your adults. And for adults, I like to emphasize the health benefits, the social aspect of tennis. All these things are intrinsic motivators, and also the idea of just learning tennis as a skill and a challenge for adults. A lot of adults like the challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's good. You got a couple of points there. All right. And there are no set limits in this round. All right. And we're going to go to Erwin now. Here we go. No set limits. You get however many good points you can make in a minute, then you can do that. And then if you can, rebut the other people, then you can I might actually take a point away from them if you can slam them really good. Here we go. Erwin.
I work. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep. Hello? Athlete motivation.
Yeah. I specialize mostly, competition kids. So for me, on the motivational part, first of all, I have to be you have to keep it real. Make goals that are makeable for these kids. Don't try to set goals that are extremely high, because it's going to be really hard for you to keep this kid motivated. Number two is watch your words. Like, I travel a lot with my kids to tournaments, and especially after they lost, when they lose a match, don't just go and tell them what they lost right away. I always like to try to point at them, even though they lost that match, all the good things that they did and the things that we can do better to try to keep this kid motivated. The words that we choose to speak to the kids, it just basically stay positive with the kids. Yes, there is a point where we have to focus on the weaknesses or whatever they could have to
5
make
seconds.
sure that we keep telling what they are doing well. That would be something.
Oh, man, with a second to go, you stopped. That was awesome. Because you were going to hear this. If you would have heard that. All right, so Erwin really nailed it there, and he scored 4 points right there. So he has surged into the lead. And Michael, athlete motivation.
Well, I think you first of all have to know your student and know the kind of pressures that they're under. Maybe from
Don't get
their
distracted by
parents.
the yes. You're talking, man.
As the child progresses, I think it's different for adults than for children. I think there are like basically 3 different tennis players. One is doing it for fun and recreation. One is doing it for social, being with their friends, and another is doing it for competitive reasons, and they have goals that go into high performance and tournament play. So if you have if you have the understanding as to what they want out of the game, it makes it a lot easier to be their coach.
Oh, and you had 2 seconds left there. Nice work. Nice work. All right. So here's where we're at. Michael with 13. Michael with 18. Erwin with 18. Kurt with 16. All right. So now it's come to the time where we're going to have to, do something. And so, unfortunately, this is the sound of Kurt leaving the game. Sorry, Kurt. That sounded painful. So, thanks for coming on the show, and the rest of the show is going to be between Michael and Erwin. And Kurt, you gave some lovely answers, and you did have your time in first place. So we'll be in touch later, and we're going to send you a nice little gift for coming on the show. Anyway, I hope he's okay. All right, now the final topic, and this is can be a little bit of a debate. So we're gonna have some debating going on. What are the solutions to American tennis? All right, what are the things that we need to do to promote player development? What are some of the untapped resources that are not in play, that can be in play? What are the attitudes and actions that can be taken to improve our country's performance? And and part of it is who needs to accept a little more responsibility. So, all right, let's see. I'm going to flip a coin here. Heads is Michael, and tails is Erwin, and it fell on the ground. Got to do it again. All right, man, this is the worst show ever. All right, here we go. Heads. Who's heads is Michael, and it is heads. So Michael's going to go first. All right, so Michael, you have a minute to tell us some of the solutions to American tennis.
Well, I think that the way we have the juniors all set up could be adjusted to different levels that have nothing to do with age, but have to do with their universal rating, which is something that we're heading towards. Take a look at other countries and the way that they have run their programs and created champions. I think we can take a page out of their books and start to adjust the way that we run our high performance development in this country.
All right. Okay, so yep, you get a point for that.
Oh, yeah.
And now let's go to Erwin. All right, let's see here. All right, Erwin. All right, so Kurt, I see that you're still on the line, so I'm gonna hang it up now. Thanks for coming, or maybe we have to do this one more time. Oh, he's gone. Oh, no, I hung up on Michael on accident now. All right, so I got to get Michael back. Mike, call in. All right, so now, Erwin,
Yeah.
Player development. Talk to me.
I think the number one thing that we should focus on is on uniformity. I think that there's too much competition. Like in the U.S., we have to get, like we had the USPTA and USPTR, and they need to be a little bit more uniform. All coaches, it's really hard. This is a huge country. But I think all sessions in the U.S., the USTA are doing different things. And I think we're all trying to work in the same common goal, trying to develop more American tennis. But we're not on the same page. I think it's just too different.
Yeah.
The institutions are pulling their own ways, just more of a competition between some institutions instead of trying in the same page so we can send the right message to the students. Basically what it is. It's the number. I will start with the coaches so we can do the right thing for the kids.
Okay, gotcha. So you got a point for that. Now, I'm gonna open it up, and I want Michael to answer this question. Michael, is it going to be best for us to be uniform, or is it going to be best for us to free coaches up to be expressing their own coaching ability?
Well, I think that coaches have to be given much more free reign, and we have some of the greatest coaches here in the United States. That's why all these players are coming to the United States to play college tennis, to take advantage of our programs. I don't think it happens anyplace else in the world like it does here. So the experts should be given free rein.
Okay, gotcha. I'm muting your mic. All right. So that seems to disagree with you, Erwin. So now what?
Well, I think we got to combine them both. I mean, yeah, it is true what Michael says. You have to be able. I think if you get the free range, but when we have a solid base of what we are trying to accomplish, then that freedom that we get is going to will go towards the same common goal, I believe. Because as long as the coach is educated, we will end up delivering the product. Well,
okay, so now I have. Okay, all right, good. You scored a point for that. Now, so to Erwin, who's dropping the ball?
Excuse me?
Who's dropping the ball on this? Why is it not happening? Who needs to accept the responsibility for the fact that we're not on the same page?
That's a great point. And I think it starts from the top. I think it has to come from the USTA junior development. But I just think that a lot of people think that the best coaches were the best players, and I think that's where the big mistake is. I think some of these organizations are trying to bring some top players. They're trying to bring guys that were really good on the prime when they play, but that necessarily doesn't make you a good coach.
Okay, gotcha. I'm muting you, and I'm going to take it back to Michael. All right, Michael. Who's dropping the ball, and is it really in the hands of the USTA?
Well, I think that the bottom line is that everybody is trying to compete to become like the academy that kids want to go to, and it really loses sight. You have the big names that are running their academies. I actually visited the Everett Academy last month, and they have a terrific program there. And so I think the individual coaches have to work together, and we have to, like Erwin said, I think we have to realize that the best coaches aren't necessarily the best players.
Okay, so you did get 1 point, but you don't get extra points for agreeing with people. But wait, maybe you should. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. You get another one for that. All right. So you just took the lead for agreeing with Erwin, and then Erwin's been very gracious about saying thank you and good question to Kurt and Michael, even though he didn't get to submit one. So I'm going to give him a point for that because he's a good sport. And then what are we at? 22 apiece, and there's just a little bit of time left. All right, now we got to go a little deeper on this. All right, what is something that people that no matter who you are as a stakeholder, you can do to make player development better where you are? All right, Erwin.
I'm the funnest coach you're going to ever find on the court, man. When I step on the court, I have a smile on my face, and my kids absolutely love to work out with me. I work them really hard. I like to work my kids hard. It doesn't mean that I'm making them run and stuff like that, but I make sure that they get their work done, but they're enjoying what they do. And I think when you enjoy what you do, you maximize your kid 150%.
Okay, well, I don't agree with the 150%. I do like the fun and the intensity part. All right, Michael, take it up a notch.
Well, I think that team play and playing for your team and the other players on your team is a huge part. You're representing your team, you're representing your school, you're representing your club, and there's got to be more fun, not competition based on ranking, but competition based on team play.
All right. Okay, which brings up another point. All right, so this is intense. All right, you're both at 24 right now, and we're heading into the home stretch, and you guys are so good, and there's just so little that separates you. I think it's going to come down to an act of cruelty. So, one of my favorite topics is high school tennis, and I think that high school tennis is so undertapped, and that because people have a bad attitude about it, then it isn't all that it could be. All right, so how can high school tennis become a better breeding ground for players? All right, back to you. Oh, no, we're going to let Michael go first on this one. Here we go. Michael, how can high school tennis become a better breeding ground for great players?
Well, I think that the kids who are not in high school yet should be aware that that is what they're working towards when they're, in your program, is that the best thing that they could be doing for themselves is getting ready for high school tennis. And I think it's a great way to get the experience of match play without it really affecting your ranking. And then you got all your match play during the week, and then you play your tournaments on the weekend.
Okay, that's a couple of great points right there. And so now you, sir, are up to 26. All right, and now Erwin, here we go.
What I like to tell my kids is, in high school, first of all, you get to play literally 5 to 6 days a week, so you get to play a lot of tennis and you get more ready for competition. But one big point that I talk to my kids is, tennis is, it seems to be, a lot of people say it's an individual sport, but when you're playing high school, you're playing in your team. You develop leadership skills. And you also you play a little bit more under pressure because you're not just playing for you. You're playing for your team. You're representing your school. You have a lot of kids in there watching you, and you don't want to let those people down. So it actually works a lot on your mental game. But for me, the leadership part is incredible, especially when the kids become team captains and they run a team, and they get them ready to go to college. In college, you also play team sports. So a kid that doesn't play high school would probably struggle playing college.
Okay, and then we have a winner because Erwin came in right at the end and made 3 really solid points about playing 5 days a week, and all the extra, and then you're playing for your team, and then finally that there was one other thing that oh man, what was it? I can't remember. The mental part of it, because I'll tell you what. Kids will feel more pressure playing for their team than they ever will playing for themselves. All right, so we have a winner, and then that means this is what's happening to Michael right now. Oh. It's okay, we're sending an ambulance now. So, Michael, thanks for coming on the show. It was a blast, and because you finished in the top 2, which wasn't that hard this time, but because you were in the top 2, you will be invited back onto a future show. Erwin is our winner, and so we're gonna have a little talk with Erwin right now. So take care, Michael. Maybe we'll let you say goodbye. Michael, do you want to say goodbye?
Congratulations, Erwin. I got to go to work.
All right. He's got to go to work. He's on the court right now. All right. So, Erwin.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. I mean, it was not looking good at the beginning for you.
I couldn't hear you, man. I couldn't hear the first question for some reason. I had you through
Sorry. Do you accept excuses from your students? I don't think so. So, no, there's no excuses. But you did it. You did it. You know, you were looking. You know, you pulled a Russell Wilson. You know, so good for you.
Man, and, I'm a Packer fan. That was hard.
Did you have fun?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was a great experience. It was really fun. Yes.
Okay,
it
good.
Was fun.
So I will invite. So there will be another show. I think I feel good about this, and you know, you'll be invited back, and so will Michael, and maybe we'll let Tim come back. I don't know what happened with him, but anyway. So I'm we'll be in contact because I will let you know. I'm gonna let you know what your prize is, and we will mail that out to you. And it's going to be a set of Pacific strings because recently I've switched to Pacific Rackets and Strings. That's my new sponsor. And then also we'll be in contact, you and I, in regard to Bones Original Clothing. Because that's the new line that I'm distributing here in the United States. But any final words that you want to say to the people listening before you go?
No, I mean, just keep doing what you do. All tennis coaches, I think we're all doing a really good job getting kids on the court. And for me, I love coaching tennis. For me, if I don't, every kid that I see on the court is a kid that I'm taking out of the street. So just keep on doing what you're doing, guys. It's a fun job. Very few people can say they get paid for playing tennis, and we had the luxury to say that. And I just love it. I don't ever complain to wake up and have to go and teach some tennis.
All right, very good. And then because if we're not teaching tennis and we're not doing something positive, then this is the alternative.
No. That's funny.
Okay. All right.
Man,
hey, thanks for being on the show, Erwin. I'll be in contact.
Thank you for inviting me, Bill. Talk to you later, buddy.
Okay.
See ya.
All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed that, and I'm hoping it can become the worst game show ever, and then that makes people want to tune in for the weekly blood bet. Oh, it's not going to be weekly. Probably going to have to do this like once a month. But anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and hope you had fun with it and got something educational out of it. Thanks.